on this one, let's talk about love for our Lionsgate portal as the lovely 5D mystic spiritual self-help and personal development community come together. Okay, so 5D collective, we get to have an easy time with that law of attraction manifestation, because there's a very different way that we approach our relationship with the sphere of consciousness. You still go through light body, light body, light body, rainbow body, these expansions, but you don't lose people. You actively have Kundalini awakening potentially, and if you do, you will know. And that's something we can talk about. There's a video that I actually can share with you, and you would know because of what you see. Also, those who are of the 5D collective know, intuitively speaking, and that's any functional adult, a healthy self-worth person, that there's no shortcuts. So this is why we don't fall for or believe in using any of those words that people who go online, love bombing, ghosting, gaslighting, narcissism, predators, they use all these words. It's weaponizing words. And then the people who they get actively into each other's business like that, they just name call each other. Okay, so with the 5D collective, we're all integrated brains here and functional adults, whole heart, so we know how to have conversations, not insulting matches. And when someone actively uses words, they're not insults. And so that's the part of where, as a solo polyamory woman, when I have been asked, so does that mean I can fuck you? I've smiled and said, no, that's not actively what it means. And then, so are you traumatized because you're twin flames? No, again, not traumatized. No, I'm just letting you know I love more than one person in a non, I guess, conventional way. Is that okay? What do we want to do? So I have a good friend of mine. He likes to tease with words, and I like to be teased because I like to have the capacity to talk about anything and everything. So they give me a challenge. No, it's an opportunity. And then my friend finally, he got into the understanding of what it is. I was like, no. You cannot love more than one person. No, you have to only love me. Otherwise, no, it's not go. That's intimidating. Okay, so long story short, the people who don't have the capacity to know their own self and their 1-year-old and to be an independent lover, they will tend to not want to share their one-to-one, okay? And FYI, for my polyamory community, there is primal attachment panic. You might want to learn about it. I did from Polysecure, and it is an active potential panic attack that a person, or actually, one of your partners will be potentially experiencing in the moment that you are with other partners. So you want them to know. That's why it's a good book, Polysecure, so that you can be aware of the psych-educational stuff. It might be pseudoscience for those who don't actually believe in our loved neuroscientists, neurobiology, attachment, and all that, because people use words in different ways. But it's, again, psych-education for the ones of you who do know about attachment styles. And that's what she covers. And it's really good for being able to work to get into your secure attachments. She also lists what unhealthy self-soothing mechanisms the other attachment styles have that they will want to get out of, so that they can have loving relationships that are with a secure attachment style. Categories are different. So love is straightforward for those of us who are in the 5D collective, and we don't do any of that which is not going to bring us to be in a stable, consistent, contingent, communicative, and that means slow and steady wins the race. We also don't, again, use words. So if somebody is love bombing us, ghosting us, gaslighting, and I'm going to use that because we don't use any of those here, because really it's going to be a conversation. It's not going to be, again, let me use words to accuse you of something that I have no idea that you're doing or not. Furthermore, if I'm concerned for your mental health and your mental hygiene and for your adaptive child pattern behavior or maladaptive child behavior pattern, I will say, I've noticed that there's ways that you emotionally and mentally have when this, and this happens. Do we want to go together somewhere, check it out? Are you curious? For me, it's easy because I'm attachment trauma informed. Okay, so that's a side note. But when you have grown-ups, we have conversations, and it's not a demand, and it's not necessarily going to be you have to go, not go. It's going to be a conversation. Okay, so love is not something that comes and goes. It's a consistency. When you enjoy each other, you consistently want to hear more from each other and then to be supportive of each other. So that's also why this Lionsgate portal, very important for those who are, for all, not just those. So some people, they're getting certain types of awarenesses. This is a meaning that what they want, what they don't want, how their heart wants to lead their romantic love life. Okay, so we have had some breakups, and we'll have some breakups, we'll have some makeups, we'll have some newbies. And no person actively, that is within our 5D mystic community, the spiritual self-help and the personal development, will actively have a concern of those who are exes. Okay, so rigidity comes from those who don't know that healthy boundaries are not you going no contact because you have to put up a wall. That's where if you have a good therapist and then you are, again, walking a walk and talking a talk, then the therapist and you are talking about how to handle something, and that might be resulting in a no contact. But when you see people using just words, keep away from all those people, just block them, do no contact, da, 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 da. Exes, don't let your exes come back. Okay, then. That's interesting. Anyone? Cusco, squirrel, anyone? Okay, so it just reminds me of a lot of people talking, but they don't have healthy self-worth. And they're not taking those 16-year-old versions of themselves, the adaptive child behavior, and bringing themselves to learn what it is to have healthy self-worth, to get out of passive-aggressive, to get out of being triggered and projecting their emotional charges and low self-esteem at other people and in discourse out there. Okay, so for 5D Collective, again, we get to set the walk a walk and talk a talk of what is secure attachment and secure base or safe haven. Secure base is what secure attachment. So when someone is, again, coming in and out, we know how to address that and say, okay, you know, I can see that you are not really sure of what you want to do. Now, it doesn't mean it's like this. It could be very firm, and actively that does happen. We do not take steps back from having to have firmly spelled out something. We also, though, sometimes allow wiggle room for things to get a little iffy, so we can take that ownership. Like I have had situations that I've had to recalibrate because I allowed a specific type of language and interactions to take place. And once there were things that I was clear on, I was like, okay, this is not what I thought we were building. So now that I know what is being built, well then I'm gonna have to correct course. And that's where correcting course is straightforward for those of us who are women, men, or theys who have no issue telling you, this is not what I want, this is not who I am, this is what I want, this is who I am, and this is what I would love to do, which is have a face-to-face or at least a conversation on a phone. Not, you don't text me anything that's important. We talk about it, and really, I mean, if you're grown-ups, you're gonna talk face-to-face. So anytime a person, for a healthy self-worth person, and that's a 5D collective human being, we have someone who is not able to consistently show up. We're not going to shame, blame, fault, or revenge. We're not going to do squirrels or Cuscos or talk about words. We're just going to understand, which is why, again, this lovely portal brings people together. The ones who end up parting, if they are grown-ups and they love each other, then they know how to part ways and hug and say, this has been great. Now that we're going other ways, you know how to work it out. Ones who are disappointed, that's a whole different story. And that's for those who don't know how to do what Jesus taught us, which is unconditionally loving each other. We all have flaws and imperfections. We do that with integrity. And we understand everyone deserves love, and not everybody is a match, because if you're an emotionally available person, the emotionally avoidant ones will not be a match. They will not want to consistently, contingently build a home together of love and more. So again, tune in for more. We're going to have more for Lionsgate, and hopefully you are bountiful in love.